Sandra Cranford in your local weather expert forecast center. Thanks for joining us. We're taking a quick look at what's going on with our severe setup on Monday for possibly some strong to severe storms in our area. Here is the Storm Prediction Center severe risk outlook for tomorrow. Notice that the higher risk, the level 3 out of 5, is for areas far north of the lake and into Mississippi and over toward Alexandria in central Louisiana and northeast Louisiana. The rest of the area, including our immediate North Shore spots, South Shore locations, and toward the coast, as well as our Mississippi counties along the coast, are under the number 2 out of 5 severe risk. So just to kind of break it down, what does that mean? Basically, we're going to have a setup tomorrow where there's lots of warm air, there's instability, and it does look like we'll get some showers and thunderstorms turning strong, maybe starting to rotate a little bit, bringing some high wind gusts, things like that outside or in front of our next cold front. And the most likely area where the ingredients are right for some strong to severe storms would be farther to the north. So notice that the line itself extends from Hammond to Bogalusa and north to Kentwood, including places like Franklinton if you're joining us from Amite, or if you're over toward Baton Rouge and out especially farther to the north, as I mentioned, around Alexandria and in southwest Mississippi, including Macomb. That's where the area is just a little bit better to see some strong to severe storms. If you're in Slidell, Mandeville, if you're south of Lake Pontchartrain in the New Orleans metro area, if you're in Covington, Abita Springs, and over toward Poplarville, Picayune, Bay St. Louis in Mississippi, and anywhere around Houma, Thibodaux, or toward the coast, you're going to be at a little bit lower risk, because by the point that the showers and storms really start to move into our area or get close to our area, by that point, the peak heating, the daytime heating that happens with the peak hours in the late afternoon, that will have already passed. A look at the timeline very quickly, and we'll go a little more in detail in a minute. The tan or beige shaded area where the chance is a little bit higher would be when the storms are forming in the afternoon. Notice there's still a chance for some strong storms south of the lake, but that would be more toward tomorrow night. So just bottom line, what kind of things are we looking for with any sort of severe storm setup? These would be the threats: high wind gusts, possibly some hail with this system. And what we may see is out ahead of the main line of rain, we may see a few showers and storms starting to build, get stronger, and begin to rotate. So that would be possibly a setup for a couple of isolated tornadoes. Here is the big bullet point as far as the timeline goes. If you're waking up Monday morning, we're not going to have severe weather. Don't have to worry about that for the early commute. Even at lunchtime, things will probably still be quiet. So mainly dry to start the day. 2 p.m. and we'll say till about roughly 9 p.m. there's a 50% chance for rain, so it won't be continuous everywhere, but there will be some showers and storms developing, and that's the time frame, again, especially far to the north where some could be severe. And then 10 p.m. to we'll say about midnight or 1 a.m. that's when we'll get the line of storms moving in ahead of the front, and of course that's going to be right when the Saints game is ending, and possibly even as it begins at 7:15 we could have some strong to severe storms in the area. So let me show you a timeline and show you our precision cast for hour by hour conditions. Again, Monday morning, this is 7 a.m. Things are quiet. We may have a little patchy fog. Here we are by 3 p.m. and we're beginning, you can see, to look at some of these showers and storms developing out ahead. So we have very warm, unstable air in this portion of our area in Louisiana and into Mississippi. So this would be the time frame that we might see some severe storms. We'll fast forward into the 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock time frame, and this is where the line of rain might be at this point. I'm going to back it up 1 hour to 7 o'clock, so just as the Saints are getting going in New Orleans, and there's the line, possibly already at Macomb and Baton Rouge. So it may be close, and timing is not going to be perfect. So just please, even before the game, just make sure your phone is charged, make sure you can get alerts and things like that in case of a strong storm before the Saints game. Then look at this, 10 p.m. we may have a line of storms moving through the area right as the Saints game is kind of coming to an end and maybe leaving the dome 11 o'clock, 11:30 in the New Orleans area. Here we go with the showers and storms, again, moving through the southeast Louisiana area to the southeast. So by this point, again, the risk will be a little bit lower, I think, because the higher risk will be in the afternoon to the early evening hours. But still, we could get certainly some strong thunderstorms at this point, and then the rain does begin to move out of the area. This is 3 a.m. on Tuesday. Colder air is moving in, and 7 a.m. we may just have an isolated shower near the coast, perhaps. And look at these temperatures. Much colder air is coming behind the front. with our temperatures maybe in the 40s and 50s, and then check out the rest of Tuesday. This could be 4 p.m. on Tuesday. We might still be hovering in the 40s and maybe even the low 50s. In just a second, I'm going to pull up, let me see, our page so I can answer a few questions. But I did want to show you that. If you're wondering how much rain we're going to get, I'll cover that really quickly. It looks like about an inch, could be a little bit higher than an inch in some spots. Let me see. I will now, let's see. I'll show you our 7-day really quickly to show you what to expect as we get into the next few days. This is really the day tomorrow that we'll have the highest rain chance this week. Saturday we'll have a little bit of a chance of rain with another system moving in and kind of keeping us cool, but that one doesn't look as stormy as what we're going to see tomorrow. Let me put back up for those of you who are just joining us and saying, what's going on? We're just talking about the severe risk for Monday, and notice that there is a little bit of a higher chance for areas far north of Lake Pontchartrain and into Mississippi. So where you see the dark kind of tan shaded area, that's where the chance for some severe weather will be a little bit higher. We do, just to kind of compare it to other events, we often have a marginal risk of severe weather that happens, fairly frequently, where you might have an isolated shower or storm that turns severe. We sometimes get the slight risk as well. It's a little bit rarer for us to have an enhanced risk, but that is possible. We do see that from time to time. It's not completely out of the ordinary. And just to give you a little bit more information on what each of those categories mean, again, the enhanced risk would be numerous severe storms possible. Most of our area, aside from far north parts of the area from about Hammond to Bogalusa and north, most of the rest of the area is at that slight risk, level 2. So that would be scattered severe storms are possible. Sometimes, you can see other parts of the nation especially get those moderate or high risk kind of in the spring storm setup where you have tornado outbreaks and things like that. That's a pretty high likelihood that they will see some severe storms. But where we are, it's just a little bit nudged up for those areas far north of Lake Pontchartrain, around, again, kind of the northern part of Tangipahoa Parish and into Washington Parish too. So just to give you a little bit of a closer look, this would be the line. And again, this is not set in stone. This could change a little bit, seeing the setup kind of take shape tomorrow. But I did want to just show you what we have happening right now. Does anyone have any, Jamie asks, is the Tickfaw area? Well, it's kind of right on the line. Let's see. I think you're right in here at Tickfaw, right? Is that correct? So, yeah, a little bit farther to the, yeah. So yeah, officially Tickfaw is in there along with Natalbany, Albany, Springfield, Folsom, Montpelier, those of you in Tangipahoa Parish. So yes, Jamie, to answer your question, that's a yes. And again, especially if you're kind of on the fringes here, I wouldn't get too concerned about the exact line, but just kind of look at the general indication. Most of the kind of extreme fringes toward kind of the northern part of our boot of Louisiana is going to be looking at a little higher risk. Let me see. Anything else? I'm seeing some people. Mercedes says, do we need a heavy coat for tomorrow? No, tomorrow is also warm. Tomorrow is in the 80s. Actually, the morning, this is what I have for lows tonight. I think we'll be in the 60s. But tomorrow during the day, we're going to be seeing those temperatures get to about 80, 81 or so with those thunderstorms again, especially after 2 or 3 p.m. So kind of a warm, breezy, spring-like sort of feeling day tomorrow, not getting cold yet until Tuesday. So the front will move through very late overnight. Janelle asks, could the enhanced area drop further south? It could, yeah, it might. The system, that we're watching is way out to the west and northwest right now. So, as it takes shape tomorrow, we'll kind of see how it looks and see how the, exact, ingredients are looking the day of. So it is possible, Janelle. Vanda asked for the timeline again. This is the rough timeline that I have right now. If you're in the first part of the day, I think you're going to be fine. We don't really have a lot of, severe storms or anything to talk about. 2 p.m. until 9 p.m. Not to say that it will be crazy storms the whole time. That's just kind of the window where the ingredients, I think, are going to be best for some severe storms. And the rain chance notice for then is only about 50%. So not everyone, this will be one of those days where there might be a really strong storm, maybe a warning here or there in the afternoon, but maybe some of you could say, well, it's just warm and breezy where I am. So that is you know, kind of the setup for tomorrow afternoon and evening. Then as we get into about 11 o'clock midnight, it's looking like that may be when a line of storms kind of forms up and moves in, as we often see with these cold fronts. Scott, I would invite you to look at my page, because that is where you can find a lot of really concise information. This is hopefully to give people who have specific questions, you know, a little bit more detailed answers. So Scott, thanks for your feedback. And we do have things like this. You can go to wwltv.com. You can see our weather article there. Everything arranged very concisely, as it looks like you would prefer. Mercedes says, is it going to rain tomorrow? We do have a high chance, especially tomorrow night around maybe about 11 o'clock or so. And earlier in the afternoon, we will have some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And the big concern, of course, is that some of them could be strong, maybe with some high wind gusts, possibly an isolated tornado, and also maybe some hail. Those would be the threats. Let me see. Will it stop the Saints game tomorrow night? No, I think that's going to continue. But if you are getting out of the dome, kind of finishing up a Saints party or watching it at someone's house or watching it at home, there may be some showers and storms kind of moving in, possibly before. But it looks like especially after, maybe about 10, 11 o'clock, we may hear a line of showers and storms coming in. So let's see. Brandy wants her kids to sleep through it. Certainly understand. Let's see. Howard, how about the fishing on my porch? We do have our marine forecast. I can show you that if you're interested in that. I know that's not really what you mean, but the winds are going to be picking up Tuesday, by the way, if you're interested in that. North winds maybe up to about 15, 20 miles per hour or so, because the cold air will be moving in. And let's see, I guess that's mostly what we have going on right now. Should the children wear rain jackets tomorrow? It might not be a bad idea to have something like that, but most of what we see, I think, is going to be probably after school lets out, after about 2 and 3 o'clock. So it might be a little bit much to send them possibly with a rain jacket. But if you want to be super safe, might not be a bad idea. No, it is not going to be cold tomorrow night. It's going to be probably 60s, and then late at night we will have colder air moving in. So no, if you're in the evening tomorrow, it'll be, you know, just kind of mildish to somewhat coolish. All right, well, that'll do it, guys. We have our eyewitness news coming up at 10 p.m. So yeah, Brandy says, will winter make up its mind? Absolutely. It's always changing, isn't it? Kind of fun because it keeps it interesting, but yeah, it's certainly not going to settle in with cool weather for a long time here, is it? Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate your questions and hope I can help. I like conversing with you guys on this, so reading a few more comments here. Join us at 10 p.m. We'll be on Eyewitness News. We have a lot of news with tons of stuff that happened over the weekend news-wise, and then also we'll have a detailed look at a few more of the ingredients and things like that going into the severe weather setup. So join us at 10, Eyewitness News on WWL TV Channel 4. You can also find a lot more information at WWLTV.com. You can find more information, of course, on Facebook and Twitter and things like that, Instagram. And we'll also, of course, have our app with plenty of updates. If you haven't downloaded that, it's super easy to use and would be a good thing for tomorrow in case we have any warnings and things like that. Tomorrow, just be aware of the weather. You know, keep your phone charged. Make sure you can get warnings. And especially after the Saints game and maybe even before the Saints game, just kind of think what you might do if there are some strong storms, you know, just kind of be prepared for that because it does look possible letting out of the game especially. So that'll do it for now. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you at 10 o'clock on Eyewitness News.